Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We can't go out, man, forget my peace. We take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Lucy is enduring her White Lotus punishment. Tony and Chris are handcuffed together. That's not a punishment. They just like it that way.
Lucky Chris.
We've got Greg Cody in studio today on a Tuesday. We've got a lot of enthusiasm. Do you have a back in my day today, Greg?
No, I don't, Dan. I had one last week. I don't want to spoil everyone. It's not like a weekly thing. It's
You could have gone holiday excuse there.
Yep.
It is
Well,
a weekly. It is a weekly thing.
Also, Dolphin playoff loss.
yeah, MLK Day.
But he
Dolphin
wants to make
playoff
them
loss.
special. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm
Right.
with you.
But
Yeah.
it is a weekly thing, though.
Well, not really.
Well, it's not because you've decided to not make it one,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to. You're paid as if it were a weekly thing.
You know what? You don't want to spoil people.
That's right.
You don't want to have dessert as your main dish.
Yep.
You want to have it occasionally.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Do you want dessert as your main dish? Yes or no? The Dolphins now have the second longest playoff win drought in all of American sports. I don't know who is first. They have not won a playoff game this century.
Ooh, let's all guess. This is fun.
They have not won a playoff game this millennium.
It's not the Lions.
They have the longest playoff win drought in the NFL. You say it's not the Lions. The Lions were that, but they won with the coach who used to be the Dolphin coach, who we made fun of around here, Man Campbell. But I want to read you guys something and have you guys tell me, because Tony says the Dolphins cannot re-sign Tua. I want you to tell me which of these is most shocking. The last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, LeBron was a high school freshman. The Knicks were the defending Eastern Conference champions.
That one.
Hold on, Stugotz. I know you're the king of putting the jerk in knee jerk. Just hold on.
My bad.
The Houston Texans did not exist. Shaquille O'Neal had 0 championships. Tom Brady hadn't been drafted.
Wow.
That's a pretty good one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
He played till he was 44.
Nick Saban was still at LSU, and Bill Belichick was in his first season with the Patriots. This is a good one. Metallica filed a lawsuit against Napster.
Napster.
Sony released the PlayStation 2. A dozen eggs, 89 cents.
I was a freshman in high school.
Alicia Keys had yet to release music. Billie Eilish wasn't born. What's the best of those? Still the Knicks were the defending Eastern Conference champions?
I think so, yeah. Our show hadn't started.
Tom Brady had not been drafted is pretty good. I think, let's see here. Steph Curry was 8th grade and Patrick Mahomes was 5 years old.
Mahomes being 5.
How about this? The top 3 songs on the Billboard 100 were, 2 of them were by Santana.
Great year for him, by the way. Banger of a year.
Wow.
Unbelievable year for him. and now everything gets thrown into total upheaval. And, Greg, I'm curious with your thoughts on this because last night you saw, and I'm having a hard time with this, Stugotz, quarterback evaluation has always been shitty. And now it seems to have gotten harder in a salary cap sport what you should pay the guys who may be in the class, in the realm of system quarterbacks. And when I see Jalen Hurts and that team collapse like that, and he's at $255 million, and he got the $255 million when that team was healthy and when that offensive line was the best in football. A.J. Brown leaves, and you're all of a sudden like, wait a minute, whoa.
Looks different, yeah.
And they gave him $255 million, and now their coach is at risk of being fired. And Adam Schefter wrote 6 weeks ago he was safe. But things change. Because that collapse, I talked to Dominique about this on air last week, and I said, when's the last time you saw this? And he said, well, you see it every year. And I'm like, I don't see that every year, where a team I thought was the best in football is losing to Arizona and the Giants and then getting slaughtered when they go to a Tampa team that we know is just okay. Like, that I don't see every year. And Sirianni's job might indeed be in jeopardy. But I ask you, when I compare it to Jalen Hurts, because we all saw both of these quarterbacks in college, and all of us would have argued that Tua was the better talent than Jalen Hurts in college. And then Jalen Hurts gets into exactly the right system and gets $255 million. And now Tua's in exactly the right system. And I don't know how to judge him based off the last game, Stugotz, because I don't think it's fair to judge him off of those temperatures. Daniel Jeremiah said, among other things, that the playoff record of Drew Brees and Peyton Manning on the road, 2-5. And 3-5. When it's precision passing in bad weather, I don't make the assessment of my quarterback on that.
But the playoffs are the same time every year. You have to be good at that time, or else you're going to struggle.
And the entire country is cold except Miami.
Yes.
Well, that's why the Tennessee loss was the crusher. People keep pointing to Baltimore and Buffalo.
It was the Tennessee loss.
You need home games. Right. You need a bye. But you also need a quarterback who can win wherever. You need a when Buffalo plays Kansas City might get slaughtered, but the reason people think Kansas City has a chance in that game is because you believe in their quarterback.
Of course, yes. You believe Patrick Mahomes, even though he hasn't done it yet on the road, you believe Patrick Mahomes could stroll into your stadium and give your team a chance to win. And in all likelihood, Dan, he will. He will give his team a chance to win that game. I think it will be a close game. But yes, of course.
A lot of it depends on how you define quarterback and what kind of a quarterback you want. Jalen Hurts is better than Tua if you factor in the all-around game. Jalen Hurts is a true dual threat. The guy's got 40 rushing touchdowns. Tua brings you no legs to that position. And so by that measure, I would rather have Jalen Hurts. As a quarterback, as a passer, as an accurate passer, there's no question that Tua is the better quarterback. So what are you looking for in your quarterback?
Greg, the thing is, when the pocket breaks down for Tua, he doesn't have the ability to go to a second read in a way that Jalen Hurts can extend the play, get out of the pocket, and make something happen. I know this year has been tough because he's obviously hurt. Their offensive line isn't that good. And I think Sirianni's been exposed as he's had really good coordinators in the past. Look at Shane Steichen doing a lot of good stuff in Indy. And then Jonathan Gann on the defensive side over in Arizona. You're looking at now a coach who's kind of like in flux. But when you look at that and compare Hurts with Tua, we're connected. When you compare that with Tua just can't play in a muddied pocket.
Dan, one of my favorite pastimes is finding out how right I was. And I went back into a group chat that I had with you and Mina, and I said the Eagles run something very basic. They did all of last year. What set them apart was Jalen Hurts' decision-making, his precision, and it's only a matter of time before the NFL catches up to that. Now, it's very convenient to put it on the change in offensive and defensive coordinators there, but that is a pretty simple offense with a terrible route tree. I don't know how many times I've watched the Philadelphia Eagles this year and seen two receivers within 3 yards of one another. Yeah. And I know A.J. Brown gave voice to improvising and a lot of wide receivers in that system having freedom to do that. It's a disaster. It's the NFL caught up in a season and a half. And what set Jalen Hurts apart was just being super decisive. And when his protection isn't there, when people aren't picking up blocks.
When A.J. Brown isn't there.
That's huge, too.
No, it's giant.
Part,
it's not. No, listen. Jalen Hurts got paid when A.J. Brown got there. A.J. Brown changed everything about our values on Jalen Hurts. Everything. Because a legitimate number one turning Goddard into a number 3 was something that made Jalen Hurts worth $255 million.
Jalen Hurts still had a pretty good season. Jalen Hurts is less than a year removed from outplaying Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl. Like, I don't know what we're doing here with Jalen Hurts. I think A.J. Brown not being there really hurts him. But
what we're doing is I think I'm drawing a comparison to how the RPO took over the NFL early on, and Colin Kaepernick looked unstoppable. And then you saw very smart defensive coordinators in this league catch up. It's what you do after defensive coordinators adjust in this league.
It's also, by the way, and this probably needs to be reiterated because our analysis of this stuff gets real shitty when we make it about the quarterbacks and winning and losing, and we forget what was happening to Philadelphia at linebacker. With their injuries, they couldn't defend or cover anybody. And what happened to the Dolphins with their injuries? And then everyone spends the entire offseason, because no one collapsed harder than the Dolphins this season except for the Eagles. That's a historic collapse to go from 10-1 to losing at home to bad football teams at the end of the season in games only you need. Like that is not something that I see every year, and it makes Jason Kelce retire. And it throws Sirianni's job into jeopardy.
It also feels like we're going to hear from Jalen Hurts' agent at some point this week about it's more than just his finger. He's more injured than you even thought. That just feels like it's going to happen.
Yep, today. Yes.
Nobody wants to talk about injuries. Everybody thinks injuries is an excuse. Don't even bring it up. The health or lack of health is what cost Philadelphia
Don't bring it up.
to a large degree, and
It
it's
cost
what
the
cost
Dolphins.
Miami.
Yes.
They had a 36-year-old linebacker who had been with
Right
the
through.
team for a week, covering a fast tight end deep in that game. That doesn't happen if you're not decimated at the linebacker position. They had 25 sacks sidelined. 25 sacks was not playing.
Is he talking about the Dolphins?
Game. Yes.
I thought you were talking about the Eagles.
Funny how the injury conversation doesn't apply to the Buffalo Bills.
It applies to everybody this time of year.
It's just totally omitted from the Buffalo Bills' late season turnaround.
And they lost another defender yesterday, by the way.
Lucy, how do you feel about your costume?
I don't love it. I don't have to wear the wig, which is nice because my ears are too big. So when I wear the wig, probably 5 minutes into wearing it, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'd rather just cut my ears off. So they're large. They're large ears. Like,
You've mentioned this before. You've mentioned that the ears are something that you've mentioned as you've celebrated them while also not liking them.
well, I can't do it. I mean, I guess I could do anything or do something about it, but they're my ears. This is what I have.
They look great.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
I have the biggest ears on the show.
Do you?
Really?
Oh,
Cody
yeah.
ears.
Yeah, they're
Can
unbelievably
we have
long.
an ear off between you two?
Yeah,
One of
I
my-
challenge anybody to measure my ears against theirs.
I don't think that's fair because your ears never stop growing and you're a lot older than me. Also, one of my ears is slightly deformed. So I have an ear that sticks out and then one that's close to my face.
It's an ear off.
Yeah, I'm happy to ear off right now.
Chris, did you hurt Tony? By
Yeah, I
getting
tried to
the-
throw my arms
Get
up and
my
say,
wrist.
it's an ear off, and I hurt Tony. Dad, why don't you show the audience your left ear? They had a shot of your left ear, so keep your right headphone on, whip open your left. Jesus, I mean,
the other left.
Give him
Greg.
a second. It's early. I mean,
look at that bad boy.
that's an ear.
The key
that's
to
an
a
earful.
the
It
key to
keeps
the
going.
the Cody ear has that crease down at the
Yeah.
bottom. That's a thing that all Cody men have. I'm developing it still. Like you can kind of see in my ear that it's not fully developed yet, but you can see that the crease will eventually be there.
see it.
Is it the ear and the nose, the human body parts that continue growing all
It's
the
not
time?
the penis.
The hairy areas. That's what the Codys call them. The nose and the ear.
Speaking of Codys, we have a controversy inside the brothers Cody. Dick Cody and Greg Cody are feuding a little bit. Dick Cody has fired off an angry email to his, it's his little brother, right?
Yeah, Uncle Dick is 9 years older than me.
And Uncle Dick is among the strangest people in the universe. And the only reason Greg Cody isn't exactly like Uncle Dick is because he married and had kids, and it made him turn into a more functional adult, but not necessarily a functional adult. And so Dick Cody has written an angry email in which he writes to Greg Cody angrily, "I did not invent bidet-up." Angry, pissed off. He is saying it is from the original Rick and Suds show. He just wrote this morning. Do you want to read?
8:19 a.m.
It's odd to get pissed off when someone is claiming you invented something and you're like, no, I didn't.
Well, he doesn't want credit for it. And Greg Cody is feuding with an assortment of people. He's also feuding with this show. He's taken this gripe public on his own podcast, The Greg Cody Show, featuring Greg Cody.
Yeah, with.
Fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It came up on the podcast that I'm claiming intellectual rights to hee-haw 3, ba-dap, and you have to say it like that, or else it isn't authentic. And quite frankly, I think the Le Batard Show has stolen my intellectual property for profit on its own merch store. And the Greg Cody Show now has its own hee-haw 3, ba-dap T-shirt on the market today with the authentic spelling of ba-dap.
It's a market for this shirt.
We're going to find out.
Free shipping with the Greg Cody Show.
Wow. That's true. That's true. But anyway, so
today only.
Okay,
I'm going there.
On the show, I claim to have invented hee-haw 3, and that's my intellectual property. And Uncle Dick, at 8:19 this morning,
which is noon for him,
right? Huffing and puffing, he says, "FYI, I never claimed to have invented the phrase. It is from Rick and Suds radio show where a caller would imitate barnyard sounds. Hee-haw 3, donkey, and ba-dap, chicken, were the ones that suck." So
what?
The ones that
That's
stuck.
a chicken?
Yeah, ba-dap. Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
I thought it was you saying batter up.
You didn't. Wait, did you steal Hee Haw 3 as well?
I didn't steal either of them. I invented the phrase. I'm the one who put them together.
I don't believe you.
As a umpire making a call. Hee-haw 3, ba-dap. Okay, that's the phrase, and it's mine. It's my intellectual property. Mm-hmm. But kiddingly, it came up on the podcast that Uncle Dick claims to have stolen it or invented it, and now he's saying I never have invented it. So it's like become a big thing in my family. Thank God both of my parents are dead.
Why are you out of?
Thank God.
Well, thank God.
I mean, or else they would be hurt by.
Why are you
the
out of
brothers.
breath? Why are you out of breath?
They would be hurt by
Why
the brothers.
are you out of breath?
I'm not out of breath.
He's
I
fine.
could run a lap around this room right now.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's a small room.
Go ahead. Run a lap around the room. Sit down and let us look at your left ear again.
It's bad that this genuinely makes me nervous.
Run. Look, yes, keep going.
No,
Yeah.
no. One more,
no,
Max.
No, a couple more, and I'd like them to
He
get
has asthma.
This, I'd like him to then sit down and get his breathless Dolphins analysis.
I think we got enough. 2 laps,
No,
he'll be
no,
tired.
One
I'm
more,
telling
one
you.
more, Greg.
One more, Greg.
One more.
We
and
might
then-
kill him.
One more, and then give a eulogy.
Slowing down.
Sit down and give the eulogy to the Dolphin season. Everybody, get out of the way and let him breathlessly eulogize the Dolphin season.
Okay. Hang on.
Getting the headsets on.
Yeah, I mean, we talked. Hang on.
Mm-hmm. Take your time.
We alluded to it earlier. Only the Eagles out-Dolphined the Dolphins in terms of taking a super promising season and just turning it into a pile of shit. That's what the Dolphins did. It's not a successful season. We can't even pretend it's a successful season. And when they're 10-3, everybody still think they just beat Dallas. Everybody's thinking, we can, AFC Championship game or bust. It was bust, and it happened last year, where they went from 8-3 to 8-8. It happens this year. There's a problem with this team closing. This team cannot finish. There's something wrong in the DNA, and as I mentioned on God Bless Football, I think it's a curse.
A curse.
What's the curse?
It's the Shula perfect season curse.
I can't believe that he doesn't realize what's the funniest thing about what he's alleging there, which is that the Dolphins won the Super Bowl again the next season.
No. That's the curse, the back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yes.
Well, but you said the perfect
Well,
You said the
but
perfect
the-
season curse.
it's-
They arguably had a better team the following year.
They did. It's known as the perfect season curse. Because
Known.
what you do
But
is...
wait a minute.
Well, it carried
no,
over.
it's known.
It carried
It's a known
over.
They
thing.
won.
I mean,
they
I know,
won
but it
this-
carried over.
But they won.
Right.
You know what he's talking
The
about.
curse
Going
is
back
the,
to a time.
Don't you get
I
it?
mean-
The curse is the back-to-back Super Bowl.
Dan, keep up.
They won the Super Bowl the following season
Right.
after
yeah,
having
right.
the perfect season.
I
The
know.
curse started the next year.
The curse was the back-to-back.
Do me a favor.
Jack.
Do me a favor,
Right.
please. Gather your thoughts on Tua. Take 3 more laps. And
No, Dan.
No.
What's the payoff here?
3 more breathless coverage. Do 3 more laps, and in the interim, let's filibuster. Just if you don't mind, let's filibuster while he's jogging
He
around,
might mind, though.
around
I
the
mean,
studio.
Right. Yeah.
Stugotz has just told you he's got every opinion on everything. He's taken every side. So he has said he doesn't fear the Chiefs in any way, and also has said the Chiefs can beat everybody. So let's just, while Greg Cody is jogging 3 times around the studio and then tells us what the Dolphins need to do regarding Tua, please play Stugotz's take from last week
want me to
again.
jog back?
Everyone back off and give him a lot of room here because this is a master craft.
Backwards,
This is a
Dan.
work of the highest
Not
order.
backwards.
He's a sculptor.
Not backward.
Everyone out of the way.
Dan, this time of year, everyone talks about teams they don't want to see come playoff time. I want to talk about a team that I actually want to see come playoff time. I want to see the Chiefs. I want Patrick Mahomes strolling into my stadium with max confidence. I want Travis Kelce. I want Taylor Swift. I want the team that lost to Jordan Love. I want the team that lost to Aiden O'Connell. I want the team that trailed 17-0 to Jake Browning. That is the team that I would like to face in the playoffs. That's the team, indeed, that I would want to face in the playoffs because that team is not very good. I have been saying for years there is something off in Kansas City. Last year, that take didn't go so well for me. They won the Super Bowl. This year, it's going very, very well. They are 10-6. They're down. The offense is not what it used to be. The defense doesn't travel well. They're good at home, not great on the road. If I'm a playoff team, I don't want Flacco. I don't want Mike Tomlin. I don't want any of those teams. The teams that I want strolling into my stadium, Kansas City Chiefs.
Shocking.
I would rather Kansas City walk into my stadium than Cleveland. I want nothing to do with Flacco. He's won a Super Bowl. He's done it on the road.
That's shocking.
And they have a great defense.
Shocking.
I want nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns. I want the Chiefs.
Shocking.
I stand by that. I do. I think the Bills caught a big break. Like, they're not getting C.J. Stroud and the Texans. I mean, that kid is good. He's young. He doesn't care. He doesn't know any better. He might beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I would rather have Kansas City if I'm Buffalo than have the Houston Texans.
I can
How
hear
about
my
that?
dad breathing.
Yeah, well.
Well, when you
6
don't hear
laps.
me breathing, then you got a problem. The hell are you talking about?
Right.
I mean, come
It's a good
on.
day. Every day you hear him breathe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you need? Who needs me? Listen, this whole argument about whether or not to re-sign Tua is foolish. He's a very, very good quarterback. He's very, very young. Re-sign him.
Not that young.
Give the
Very,
man
very
his
young?
money. He's 25 years old.
He's got miles on him, though, Greg. He's not 25-year-old body. He's like 28, 29 body.
Tony, I'm willing to go down this path with you, but tell me who the Dolphins are getting to replace Tua because he checked all the boxes.
Pick
this
anybody
year.
you want. What I saw from Tua in Kansas City in that weather, hey, you're going to have to go do that everywhere. Buffalo, Baltimore, Cleveland, Kansas City, wherever. You got to do it. And Tua just told me right there, hey, I can't play in this weather. Everything has to be perfect for Tua to be great. And you're going to pay somebody $200 million for everything to be perfect?
Well, luckily for the Miami Dolphins, Baker Mayfield is an upcoming free agent.
Baker,
The touchdown maker.
Kirk Cousins?
I'd like to
Justin
discuss
Fields?
for a second what happened in the Cleveland-Houston game because I know C.J. Stroud is good, and I was still shocked. That's the best defense in football. I thought that defense could wreck anybody.
Bad home road splits for that defense, but they were terrible. A lot of breakdowns there, but C.J. Stroud, a jaw-dropping performance. Just a jaw-dropping first half performance.
Yes.
Incredible.
And he doesn't have what he had earlier this season.
But with Tank Dell being out,
Yeah.
and now they lost Noah Brown. Nico Collins is very good. Dalton Schultz,
But Nico
also very
Collins
good.
was better when they had Dell and multiple options.
Oh, Tank Dell looked like he was on
He was
a special
great.
trajectory.
Yes, right.
He's going to be a good player if he bounces back from that injury.
But he's a special quarterback from that regard. Tank Dell goes down, and Brevin Jordan steps in and has a 76-yard touchdown.
How about that
catch.
Brevin Jordan play?
Crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah, good weekend for UM tight ends. People forget, and I picked Houston to win in an upset in my predictions. And in my prediction capsule, I said Joe Flacco will throw 2 interceptions because that's what Joe Flacco does. Granted, they were 5-1 with him or 4-1, but he has an interception problem, always has, and it came back to bite them in the ass. And that's partly why they lost that game, along with the defensive collapse.
Philadelphia Eagle fans, Stugotz, have an earned reputation of being especially nasty in fandom, and the things that get pointed out are that they cheered what looked like it could have been the paralysis of Michael Irvin, and they booed Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been many years since those things have happened, and I think both of them have been topped. I think since we were last on the air, I've seen the worst behavior from fans and booing when they booed Jerry Krause's widow at a celebration of the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Bulls championship. We will get to that video in a second, but first, I want to go through Stugotz because Jason Kelce's career is now over. He told his teammates emotionally in the locker room, one of the best centers ever, and I think I can say this, the single most famous center that has ever played football.
Yep.
Name her Don Bailey.
Jason Kelce is retiring, and I was introduced to Jason Kelce. First time I ever knew anything about Jason Kelce was at the parade where they were celebrating the championship, and they gave him a microphone.
Everybody wanted it more. And that's why we're up here today, and that's why we're the first team in Eagles history to hold that freaking trophy. And you know who the biggest underdog is? It's y'all, Philadelphia. For 52 years, y'all have been waiting for this. You want to talk about underdog? You want to talk about a hungry dog? For 52 years, you've been starved in this championship. You know what's up. Everybody wonders why we're so mean. Everybody wonders why the Philadelphia Eagles aren't the nicest fans. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed off. No one wanted us. No one liked this team. No analyst liked this team to win the Super Bowl, and nobody likes our fans. And you know what? I've just heard one of the best chants this past day, and it's one of my favorite, and it's new, and I hope y'all learn it, because I'm about to drop it right now. You know what I got to say to all those people that doubted us, to all those people that counted us out, and to everybody who said that we couldn't get it done? What my man Jay and John just said, fuck you!
That audio is okay. I realize in the rewatching of it that the audio is memorable to me only because of what he's wearing.
And Jay Ajayi. I mean,
How would you explain what he's wearing to the people, Stugotz? How, Greg Cody, would you explain what he is wearing to the people? Because I don't know that character. I don't know who he is emulating. I don't know that costume. His face is painted a pasty white. He's wearing a lot of sort of neon green.
Yeah, there's a sultan quality to
Yes.
it. He looks like I would say he looks like a medieval potentate, like a medieval ruler from maybe the mid 1600s.
Really?
Yeah.
I think of him
Very
as
colorful for that time.
It's a colorful country that he leads.
He was dressed as something called a mummer. The Philadelphia Mummers Parade is a folk festival that they throw famously in Philadelphia. So he was tapping into the cultural roots of Philly.
Not the first time that our ignorance around here has been exposed. It was just
mummers.
exposed yesterday, Stugotz. We've gotten blistered here by social media, and I've got to tell you, as embarrassing as it is to me, I agree with those in social media who have been very critical of us the last couple of days because of the following. Jordan Davis writes in, I love you guys, but y'all have never sounded dumber than when talking about mustaches and cold. Please, for the love of God, get someone who isn't from the same 5 square miles of the warmest swamp on earth when doing your cold mustache analysis. Yesterday, we talked, and you can check it out if you'd like to. We did 2 hours on a day off. We talked about all the icicles forming in Andy Reid's mustache. And the initial theories were dumb and snot. And it was not in any way snot. It's that laminated play sheet and his hot breath merging to form icicles on his mustache. But I cannot think of something that looks more like playoff football and looks more like Tua can't win against it than the genius of that. The genius that we are presently looking at that has, it's not small icicle formations. It's you've left your home for the winter and no one's been cleaning up and you've come back and this is what's hanging from the gutters.
One of those is sharp.
Like if there is a shorter person standing beneath Andy Reid,
Yes.
they may be impaled.
Yes, one of them is long. It is a long icicle that if you broke it off, you could shiv someone with it. That is his hot breath genius forming and congealing to hang under his nose, making the mustache twice as big as it already was, and it was plenty big before that.
so we were supposed to know that, huh?
Yes. Yes. I think most people in the cold would know that that is not a lacking hygiene NFL coach that has long, long strings of snot in his hair. Yes, we were supposed to know that. That is the correct answer to that question. I want to also show you another Jason Kelce video because this is from their very popular podcast, New Heights, where their older brother and younger brother, and Jason Kelce knew it was falling apart. They could tell, these guys in the locker room knew that that was going to happen to them in Tampa because they had nothing for Arizona and they had nothing for the Giants. And Jason Kelce had made an assortment of explanations, or what he thought was explanations. And Travis Kelce hit him with that little brother energy that resulted in this.
And miscommunication at the line, but yeah, we do need to figure that out.
Choo choo. Choo choo. You guys hear that? Is that the excuse train? Is that the excuse train coming in the Eagles locker room right now? Fucking guy, man. So moving on. Note first 10-point. Well, actually, clock management on the final drive. Are you guys thinking about that on the final drive or what?
No.
What? What kind of fucking? Where do we just go? What is it? What just happened here?
I might need a little second.
One day later.
All righty. Well, as you can see, I look a little bit different. Travis hit me in the feels a little bit, so we decided to postpone the show. We started recording that Monday night, and now we're back Tuesday to record the rest of it because I need to calm down. If there's anybody that knows how to get under my skin, it's Travis Kelce.
The best part of that is that they did it the next day, and Travis was like, oh, we'll just make it seem like it was one thing. He's wearing the same outfit. Jason's like, screw you. I'm wearing a different outfit. I hate you.
I'd like to isolate, if we can, the sound of Jason's menacing exhale as he sips the coffee and then evidently eats an angry grape of some
No,
sort.
we've all been there.
He threw in a little zinny.
Yeah.
Looked like a grape.
He's pretty mad. He's pretty furious, and only your little brother can do that to you. And the look on Travis Kelce's face right there tells you that he has been doing that for many, many years.
I got him.
Let's go ahead and go to that sound, Stugotz, because I want to get your thoughts. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is booing a widow worse than booing Santa Claus? Because Thelma Krause also put on the poll, are we still making Thelmas? Jerry Krause was the most unpopular member of that champion Bulls dynasty. He was management. He was trying to keep costs down, and the players really hated him for being the front man for organizational structure when they thought they were winning. And the Bulls were like, organizations win championships, not players. So they reunited. Dennis Rodman could not be there, and the fans booed Jerry Krause's memory. And Thelma Krause, this was brutal to watch. I felt so bad for her. She is there to celebrate her late husband, and Chicago fans did the unspeakable. It hurt to watch that, like, because she's being soothed. She's got, I don't know who that was behind her, but someone is trying to comfort her.
You can't boo her. I do understand why Bull fans, if Jerry Krause were still with us, would boo Jerry Krause because they view him as
but they weren't booing her. They were booing him.
I know you don't do that when she's representing Jerry Krause. You just don't. But I understand Bulls fans' frustration with Jerry Krause because it's perceived. They think that he's the guy that broke up that dynasty. They do.
She was on the Jumbotron. Like, it gives vibes of booing her as well. The whole thing is so gross, and I don't like the poll question. Obviously, booing her is way worse than booing Santa.
I don't know about that.
I mean, it's Santa.
It's Santa.
You don't boo Santa Claus.
I mean, Santa's got a good Q rating.
Damn right he does. Best ever.
I've never heard Santa booed. I can't say I've got a lot of experience hearing widows booed either at celebration ceremonies.
Betty White.
Not helpful.
Q rating?
Yeah, higher Q rating than Santa.
I'm with you.
Betty White.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard
right.
Show. Does Betty White have a higher Q rating
Oh, it's a helpful poll question now.
than Santa? Only because I need a transition. Mike Ryan has finally admitted that he was wrong about the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I made Jeremy Taché come into work. He's not on our show today, but I made him come into work today so I could pour my coffee and explain to him that, you know what, I was possibly wrong about this Miami Heat team. They're better than a play-in team. They are super frustrating. Probably this might be because of their playing style this year, the most hateable incarnation outside of the Big Three era Miami Heat. They are deeper because of how this season has gone on. So kudos to you, Jeremy Taché. I lay my sword down. They are better than I thought.
I think it's Jaime Jaquez Jr. That's the real key there. I think that dude is legitimate good. I think he could be the leader of this team 4 or 5 years from now when Jimmy's gone. I could see him being the best player on a team leading us to a final.
You're saying that as if you're just discovering it.
No,
right?
I'm just saying. I know he's been thought to be good, but I think he's that good. I think he could be the best player on a team.
Leading a team to a final.
Not now, but in a few years.
Okay. Write that one down.
Down the road.
It's aggressive.
How many games?
This is a new and improved Dan Le Batard
Wow.
Show with the Stugotz.
Okay.
Gamble on
See,
by
Mike,
DraftKings.
that time it wasn't
Mike Ryan, you just saw a crestfallen Greg Cody, who is pretty fed up with our hard network outs. And we had one of the funnier ones we've ever had last week, where we spent the whole segment with Greg Cody's Back in My Day music behind us. He, oblivious per usual, didn't realize that he'd been talking for 12 minutes and 20 seconds and then started his Back in My Day. We clipped him with the hard network out. And Mike Schur, a comedy writer who has written some of the best comedies on television in the last 15 years, texted me and Mike asking, that was a bit, right? You guys did that comedically on purpose, right? And Mike Ryan said, nope. I was actually very disappointed at how mad Greg Cody got afterward. Didn't think any of it was funny. Thinks his Back in My Day should be respected, even though he writes one every 4 months, even though it's supposed to be a weekly segment.
Right.
And got legitimately upset by it. Greg Cody, what?
I mean, it says who? I consider it to be a monthly thing now. You know, it's a month. Once a month.
Fair.
Here it comes.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's his objection.
I'm
That's
with
so
you.
Great.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you had the holiday week. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What do you mean
once a month?
Says who, though? It was something you were doing weekly. It's like...
Well, at one time.
Right.
And then you run out of Back in My Day ideas because you've done them all.
Here, I'll give you one. Air tags.
Yeah, I've heard about air tags. I had to look up what they are.
Pedals on garbage cans.
Who? Pedals on garbage cans.
Oh, you haven't heard that album? It's fire.
It's such an old way to do that.
What? Who won?
That's something his mom used to say to him and I after we would return from golf.
Right.
Who won?
Christopher would always beat me by 30 strokes, and my mother would go, who won?
She's dead now.
She is.
Thank
Rest in
God.
power.
Thank God, as Greg Cody said earlier, thank God his parents are dead.
Well, I meant in the context of they're not here to see my brother and I bickering. By the way, a quick story about Uncle Dick. When we were talking about Tracy and what's his name? Tracy Kelce?
Travis Kelce.
Oh, let him find
No,
it, guys.
Travis and the other one. The other
Jason.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Travis
I'm
and
sorry.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Kelce.
Tracy.
Hear me.
When my I was putting the two names together, Jason and
That's
Travis.
where you got it from, Chris.
My brother, Uncle Dick, 9 years older than me, at 1440, intentionally breaks the cover of my Stratomatic game, the rectangular cardboard cover. He intentionally breaks it. Okay, I was next to tears. I'm 11 or 12 at the time. Uncle Dick was prone to napping, so about an hour after breaking my thing and refusing to apologize, he's in the middle of a nap. Okay, I spirit away into the garage. I get an empty Maxwell House blue coffee can with a lid on it. With a
I
plastic
can't tell you how great the details in this story
Okay,
are. I feel transported back to the 1960s.
Into that coffee can, quietly, in another part of the house, I put about 20 or 30 pennies from a penny roll. Okay, the can has a lid on it. I go to Uncle Dick's head in the throes of a beautiful nap, sound asleep, and I suddenly, violently shake that coffee can and startle him awake. And that was my revenge because it was a beautiful thing. All of a sudden, I felt like I will sacrifice that Stratomatic cardboard cover for the joy I get and for the anger I see in my brother.
You think he'd remember that?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Who won?
I bet he would. Who won? I won that one.
Right.
I guarantee you. I think Uncle Dick would remember that, as a matter of fact.
You got him. I mean,
I did then,
Yeah.
Unless I'm making up the whole thing, which I'm not.
Wait, what?
No. Unless
I hope you are.
Unless I'm making it up in my mind, because it's over the years, it's grown into something that I think actually happened, and I'm about 85% sure it really happened.
Question yourself.
Can we ask Uncle Dick, or is it too late?
No, you could ask him. I don't care.
Okay.
I want to show some video here of Nick Sirianni the last time they were any good, back when he was more confident, because I'm legitimately stunned that I am talking about the possibility that this person might be fired. I mean, the Eagles have been really good the last 3 years, and they were 10-1 a month ago. Like, it wasn't that long ago that this team had the best record in the NFL, and he's running off of the Chiefs field. And this is one of the reasons that Stugotz says he wanted to see the Chiefs. And this is what Nick Sirianni did running off of the field. That's not aging well. Tony, you're expecting him to be fired.
I need him to be fired, Dan. I'm not expecting him to. I need him to be fired. He lost the locker room. When you go 1-6 in your last 7 games, you can look at the game between the Bills and the Eagles when it went into overtime. I think the Eagles were 10-1 at that point, and the Bills, I don't know what, ended up with the same record. You go to Tampa and you lose. I know no A.J. Brown. I get all that stuff. But you were exposed as a coach. You lost the locker room. He's got to go.
You say he lost the locker room, though, but A.J. Brown was interviewed recently and actually caped up for Nick Sirianni, saying that Nick Sirianni bought a lot in that locker room by taking the blame for something that went sideways at the end of the game when it was on improvisational receivers.
A lot of guys said the same, Tony.
But also, A.J. Brown took off all the Eagles stuff from his IG. What do you read into that?
Did you see Luria, though, in that suite late in that game? Luria. Whatever.
Lurie.
You saw him.
Mm-hmm.
He looked pissed.
He was.
That
pissed.
looked like they usually look pissed in that situation, but that looked like a guy that was going to fire someone.
There are betting odds on Eagles' next coach. I kid you not. Sportsbetting.ag. Bill Belichick 5-2, Ben Johnson 7-2, and Bobby Slowick and Jim Harbaugh both 4-1. You can get odds on anything, but the point is there are odds out right now assuming he's going to be fired.
That's why these guys' jobs are in jeopardy, right? Like Mike McCarthy, Sirianni, all these guys, because those two are looming.
I mean,
Harbaugh's looming, Belichick is looming.
It's the combination. McCarthy would be fired either way, probably.
Also, Sirianni bringing in Matt Patricia halfway through the season is unexcusable. You know that everything he does is terrible.
It's either inexcusable or unexplainable.
It's both, Dan. I combined it, just like Tracy.
Pencil in the ear, though. Still got it.
Guy sucks.
It just gives off, I think he knows what he's doing, though. Like, when I see that pencil in the ear, I'm just like, he's got a backup plan.
When the play sheet is laminated and he has a pencil in his ear, it does not give that off.
It does.
I think it does.
Did you see the tackling last night, or lack thereof, when people were just running by people and they were just trying to tackle people like that? It was terrible.
Oh, that's like Miami Hurricanes secondary tackling that I saw over there. That was quitting time.
All right, I'm mad now because I'm looking at the graphics on our show. Do the Eagles need a coaching change? Nick Sirianni looked to have lost the locker room over the course of the season.
Thank you.
I hate our show. I hate what's happening with the graphics. I hate that the analysis.
That's a lot of context.
I mean, I hate that the analysis of Tony, who's never been in a professional locker room, is.
I do love that when presented with evidence that seemed like the locker room was supporting Nick Sirianni, he deleted Eagles off IG.
That was very recent, by the way.
I mean, A.J. Brown was a public problem for them all season. He was a public problem when they were 10-1. Like, that doesn't mean lost the locker room. I hate that as analysis. Like, like, what are we doing?
Made Jason Kelce quit.
What are we doing when it's 6 out of 7 losses? Like, that's going to look like that to anybody. You think any coach is going to look like they haven't lost the locker room when their season ends that way?
Of course not. But, Dan, you're making it seem like it's impossible for a coach to lose the locker room. Like,
No,
it happens.
I'm making it not acceptable for us to do that as analysis when we're not in that locker room and he has no facts or evidence. For example, like, I'm getting more and more frustrated. You picked the Dolphins to win at the Chiefs, and it was based on nothing.
Yeah.
It was based on no information, like nothing, no data, no facts, no study, no research, nothing.
Just playing to the audience, Dan.
And
it was based on nothing. I don't know what to tell you.
We should be better than basing it on absolutely nothing.
We're in a costume right now. Are we really in a position to say I'm better than anyone else?
I had a feeling.
Tony and my hand keep like grazing up against each other.
We don't have much space. There's only like 3 links. If you can zoom in on this, there's only like 3 links on this chain. So we have to keep our hands very close.
I keep thinking he wants to get my attention, and then sometimes I think he's just trying to, soothe me.
You know, I said the Packers would beat the Cowboys. That was also based on nothing. I mean,
well, but Stugotz, here's the thing, okay? You've been getting
Thank
me
you.
perpetually in trouble for many years with the things that you say on the show. Most recently, with your take on Lamar Jackson, that now has everyone calling me a racist.
What?
Because of your the way that what are you surprised? You're oblivious to this? You're not aware of what's happened with your Lamar Jackson take?
I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, if not now, when though?
Was
Do it in
this
the playoffs?
Was this the do it in the playoffs take?
I don't
think that was racist.
I don't care about your MVPs. I'd win a championship while he makes Joe Burrow the best quarterback in the league.
We're often a little quick to that one on social media. It's just, I don't think Stu's racist is all I'm saying.
Well, thank you, Mike.
I'm not sure.
But you don't think.
I don't think.
You don't think so.
I mean, you can never be totally sure.
You can never be totally sure. But you have not seen, you're not aware of what you've brought our way with your Lamar Jackson take?
I got to be honest. I just say things into a microphone, and then I leave, and I don't pay attention to anything that happens afterwards. I mean,
that's the time.
Rare glimpse of honesty.
Yeah.
That's a good plan. I like that.
I apologize. I mean,
I don't believe
wasn't
that
my
either.
intention.
I don't believe that your apology is honest either.
Just throw out a blanket apology at the beginning of every show for anything you might say. I think that's the way to do it.
I want to, I aired here in the local hour.
I would like to point out that I am not racist. And if there are people in the audience that think I am, you're just going to have to take my word for it. I mean,
a word that we've established means absolutely nothing.
Well, you have.
I mean, everyone has, Stugotz. It's, you are, I mean, we can say this, right? Like, this is saying something, too, as everyone mistrusts the media. Stugotz is the biggest liar in sports media, correct? Just public facing. Where is accused of lies all the time in sports media. Who's second place? I ask you this genuinely.
Well, I'm the only one who has a co-host that points it out all the time.
Well, yeah, but you're the only one lying so much that it has to be pointed out.
Just to button things up, nice little bow on this, I'm not racist.
But you are a liar. So when you say you're not a racist and you're a liar.
I am a racist? I'm not going to let you talk me into this.
No, I wouldn't.
Get out of here. Not a racist.
But when you're this much of a liar and you're denying that you're a racist,